So we can kick this off. So cool, guys. This call is called Zoom to Success, whether you're on the live or you're catching the recording. I had a few people that I just got started. They're saying, hey, Abby, like, I would love to make this call, but I'm actually wrapping up a Go Live session. So they might be tuning in just a bit, but that's awesome. I want to keep people on the Go Live if that's where they're at. But once people come piling on here, I'm really, really excited to share with them this information. So these calls, guys, they're designed to be a lot more fun, a little bit more relaxed. It's going to be a Q&A style, featuring different traders, different members within the IM Academy, really being able to see, guys, their successes, their trials, their tribulations, things that they've gone through, what they've experienced to get to where they are now, and honestly, what they found within inside the academy, what they found to really help them find the results that they're having and have success throughout this. So the first thing I just want to say really quick, and then we're going to get into this, guys, these calls are really going to only last about 25, 30 minutes at most. So we'll kind of keep it going to keep you guys informed and honestly just have a good time on these calls. Okay. So first thing I'm going to just say, just to preface and bring everything back to, the foundation, so that you guys know where you can go to get your own resources, where you can go to honestly plug in and create your own success. I'm just going to re-edify the system and the platform. So honestly, guys, everyone should have access to something like this. Okay. Everyone should have access to their own website where they can access all the academies. They can access all the Go Live. All the Go Live sessions, everything in between. You guys should all have your own back office that looks something like this. Okay, the im.center. If for whatever reason you do not, please message the person that helped you get started so that we can help you get access to it. But this is priority. This is number one. And then we also want to make sure that everyone has access to this document, the IM Mastery Academy Tools and Resources. This is something that we put together for you guys, no matter if you're brand new or if you've been a part of this like me for the last 3.5 years. I reference this on a daily basis because it has critical tools, videos, resources that I can apply to my life and obviously continue to grow in different areas. So please make sure that you have this document. There's a lot of really, really good stuff in here that you and anybody that you're working with on your team, they can come in here and leverage. And then the last thing, guys, the welcome guide. I'm going over this because I don't know if I'm gonna have time at the end of this, but the welcome guide, if you're brand new, if you're within your first 30 days, honestly, with whatever stage you're at, this is where you want to start right here. Steps 1 through 4, and continue to plug into this to make sure that you're on track for success, and obviously continue to leverage and reach out to the person that brought you on. We're here to help you guys every step of the way. I know my biggest priority and ours as leaders, our biggest priority is your personal success along this. So please don't be a stranger. Please ask questions. And then the last thing, I'm going to just bring this up because I know this was really exciting for a lot of us to hear the other day. Please pass this on to anybody that you're working with, anybody on your team. This is going to be super huge. But if you guys want to know, anything about the team promotions, if this is something that interests you, we have a lot of things going on. I'm not going to go through everything on here, but just know there's a lot of incentives, a lot of promotions that we're going to be giving out as you guys continue to grow and really take advantage of different parts and aspects of what the Academy really has to offer. So if you want to check this out in further detail, just go to the IM Master Academy Google Doc, and then you guys can come down here and just click on team promotions, and this is where you can access everything. Okay. So without further ado, guys, I'm actually going to go ahead and bring up the next guest. And what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to have like a Q&A back and forth style interview. So take some notes as we're going through this, because this guy, I've been working with him for the last 3 years. I'll just edify him. We're going to bring him on. I've been working with him for the last 3 years. And guys, I've really seen this individual step up, show up, and really show out. His success story, just being a part of this for the last few years, is one for the books, because everyone comes into this and they want fast results, they want this, they want that, but they don't understand the process that comes with it, and they don't understand that if you only give yourself a limited amount of time, well, you're actually cutting yourself short. And I've seen this guy come in here and he's gone through his trials, he's gone through his tribulations, he's gone through the real process of being able to grow and develop into the better version of himself, not only with trading guys, but on the different level that we have within the academy, going out and impacting people, going out and helping people. And if he didn't stay consistent, if he didn't stay persistent and stay focused on, where he was going, it's a true testament to the growth that you've had, bro. And I'm really, really excited. I'm really proud of you for staying consistent, because your story, your success, and your, just endurance over the course of the last 3 years of your journey is inspiring so many people to step up and realize, hey, doesn't matter how long it's going to take me, I can go out there and do that too. So, Tony, bro, I appreciate you so much. You have no idea the kind of story that you're inspiring so many other people and empowering them to go out and really do this thing, no matter what state of their journey they're in. So I want to bring you up, man. And the first question I've got for you is if you can kind of touch on, obviously we know your name, but just give a little background on, who you are, where you're from, and yeah, how long you've been a part of IM.
Okay, no worries. Well, good morning, everyone. Abby, thank you once again for that amazing introduction. Honestly, you guys, I'm a little nervous, and even though I know a lot of you guys, we hop on these calls, but every single time I get on these calls, I always get excited because, like Abby says, I always like to share. I always like to give a little bit of myself to people, especially when I'm giving value. So once again, Tony Pena, 26 years old. I'm originally from Southern California, but currently living in Arizona. And I've been part of this amazing platform for about 3 years now. And you guys, it's been such a roller coaster more than anything. Like Abby was saying, compared to where I was 3 years ago to where I am now, it's almost like a complete 180, especially with like the growth I've had, besides trading and everything. It's that who am I becoming really is the thing. And like Abby was saying, this doesn't happen overnight. A lot of us want things like this to happen overnight, but it's the process, because some of us are going to come into this willing to learn, willing to change. And if we put in that work, then we're going to change as fast as we want to. But like Abby was saying, everything good takes time. And, the last 3 years have really, really tested me, and really, more than anything, just really, I had to really be clear with myself, because I wasn't happy with where I was. I was working not even 9 to 5. I was working more like a 3 in the morning till 6 o'clock in the afternoon type of job, but I realized I wanted more for myself. And just really, this right here, when I met Abby about 3.5 years ago, it was something that I was afraid to do, but I realized, what else do I have? And just process the growth, the good times we've all made, the memories we've made in the last 3 years together, I feel are some of the best memories I'm gonna, carry with me till like the very end. And more than anything, I found a real family here. I really found not just another group of people that I can go hang out with or go out and party with, but like a group of people I can actually grow with and share a vision. But yeah, that's, in a nutshell, that's pretty much how I started, and kind of like where I've been in the last 3 years or so.
Dope, dude. That's awesome. And I love what you said there about, like, this isn't just a group of people that you can hang out with. Like, this is a group of people that we can actually grow and develop with. And I truly see, like, a lot of the relationships I have with, you guys and everybody, these are not just relationships right now. Like, I see, down the road future, business partnerships, things that come up. Like, we're just developing that relationship now. But very cool, man. So you kind of touched on it a little bit, but if you want to go in a little bit more detail, that would be awesome. Because I really want to let people know, because everybody has a different reason why they come in here. Everyone jumps on, a video recording or, a Zoom overview for the first time, and everyone's looking for a different result in their life, whatever that looks like to them. But can you kind of touch on, like, go into as much detail as you feel comfortable? But really, why did you decide to join at the time IML, now IM Mastery Academy? Why did you make that decision in the first place?
That's a really good question, and the reason why is because I just wasn't happy with where I was at. Yes, I was making good money, decent money in my construction company, but at the same time, you know, I pretty much saw how my family grew up. My dad working, construction stuff like that as well. And I always saw that, people would make good money, but I always saw myself as from a young, like growing up, I always saw myself doing something more and giving more to people, and it really, okay, I can tell you guys the exact day. I think it was like March 23rd. I remember texting a good friend of mine that used to be part of the platform. I remember texting her in the morning saying, "Hey, what's up? Sorry that I've been ignoring you." Because when I first got started with this, I didn't just get started. I don't know if that you remember, Abby, but like I kind of blew this off for like 6 months because I saw this like in 2016. I didn't get started until 2017. So, you know, I remember waking up, I ended up getting money from a car accident that I was a part of at work. And like I was coming down to like the last little money that I had, and I was like, you know what, dude, I have to do something. So I was just like, I messaged my friend. I was like, hey, what's up? Like, I know we haven't talked in like 6 months, even though like I completely like just left her on red. And I was just like, yo, like, I hate my life. It was like 4:30 in the morning. I was like, I hate my life. I hate what I'm doing. I'm like, there's really no purpose for what I'm doing besides making someone else money, making a company money, and I'm miserable. Like, I just really didn't like where I was at. And I remember very clearly the day I got started on a call, just like this, like an overview. And I remember the girl was just like, yeah, you know what? Like, let's get you on a call on a Wednesday. Let's get you on a call with my mentor Abigail. And I was like, cool. I was like, I don't even know who that is, but cool. And I remember because there's a whole backstory on how Abby and we all kind of connected. And sure enough, like I previously saw Abby in LA a year before in March, and I was just like, hop on the Zoom call. My friend's from LA. Apparently, Abby was in Arizona, and Abby's like, "Yeah, my name's Abigail Post. I'm from Arizona." And I was like, "Wait, were you at this event last year in March?" And she was like, "Yeah, I was." And I was just like mind blown. I was like, "You know what? I don't know what this is. I don't care what this is." And I just decided to take action before I even saw the platform too. So I realized, look, if I was able to connect with like-minded people a year ago, and a year goes by, and it went around and came back around, I had to realize, okay, look at your current situation, and what are you going to do? Are you going to keep doing what you've been doing for the last 3 years, or are you going to take this opportunity and actually just learn? You guys, when I saw this, I couldn't tell you what a pip was. I couldn't tell you what support and resistance was. I couldn't even tell you, like you said, look at the consolidation. I'm like, consolidate who? Like, who? What are we talking about? Like, I had no idea what anything meant. But I was like, I wasn't even hungry. I was starving. I was starving for change. That was my biggest thing. I saw, where my family was, and I was just like, I want more for my family. I want to retire my mom. I want to retire my dad. I want, my family to have a good life. And I was always thinking like, what's going to do it? I've been in the industry for years, but I lost hope up until I found this. And you guys, like, starting 3 years ago was the best decision I've ever made, besides being with my girlfriend now. But but it really, like, once again, I had to ask myself this question: Tony, are you happy? Like, are you really happy with what you're doing? And I really had to stop and look at my environment. I looked at the people I was hanging out with. I was looking at, you know, you guys, like, before, you guys know me now for who I am now. But before, like, you used to hit me up on a Monday. We'd go out from Monday till like Sunday. Like, we'd go out to shows. We'd go out and drink. Like, that was my priority back then. But now it's like, okay, I have more responsibility. Like, I have to, you know, keep growing, keep learning. And more than anything, like, it's I don't regret anything I did in the past, but it's crazy how you can change if you really wanted to in life, and it really comes down to making a decision, I would say. But like, I like I almost forgot what the question is, because like I just, it's been such a crazy journey, honestly. And like I'm so grateful for it more than anything.
Dope, dude. You definitely answered it. I think it was very clear throughout your entire, the background story from, meeting me and, moving forward and just making that decision. You want to change, bro. You saw the value of this and you just made a decision. And I think that's the biggest thing for people is like they continue to get all this information, consume, and they never take action. And I think the biggest key that you said is you just made a decision, and you just continue to make the right decisions as as you continue to take more action. Um, so okay, cool. Let's move into a kind of a different area. So I do want to kind of tell the people from you what's been like, along with the platform. We've seen a lot of growth. We've seen a lot of evolution within the platform as a whole. But to this day, like, which educators on Go Live, I really want to get this to the people, but like, which educators on Go Live do you like the most, and which tools have been the most helpful for you?
Easily, hands down, I would say Mike Miles. One of the like, I felt when I saw the educators, I really felt like Mike Miles really stood out to me. Just with just everything he talks about, because it's, you know, he starts off like getting in the right mental state, and then from there he really goes in depth with the markets, and he tells you why the markets move certain ways. Also Christopher Derrick, same thing, with the whole price trap and everything, because it's, when it comes to just education, like in the platform, there's so many educators, there's so many different tools, there's so many different things that it could be overwhelming. And when I first started, obviously it looked like Windows 97 when we first started back, back in the day. All we really had was like the harmonic scanner and a couple other tools, but still to this day, I would say the harmonic scanner is my favorite. And obviously watching Manny on Go Live, teaching, educating people on how to actually use the scanner. I feel it's almost like with anything, if why try to reinvent the wheel? Why are you going to try to, like, if you look at a educator that you like, for example, there's no reason on why you should try to change something from that if that works for you. And that's one of the things too, where when I first started, I tried changing it on like, okay, the scanner's doing this. Well, what if it goes this way? So I was always, at first I really wasn't going with it until I really had to tell myself, you know what, Tony, if this is the way it's supposed to be like used properly, like the harmonic scanner, and this is what you got to look for, this is what you got to look for. And I would say that once that really became clear to me that it was that simple, it just, that's really all I use. And there's a bunch of other good tools on the platform, but at the same time, it's like, you don't need to know everything to become a profitable trader on here as well.
Yeah, that's a great point. I think Chris Derrick says it really, like, I think the best. He said, just because there's something that's out right now, I know there's been like, Gold Cup is still very relevant, very consistent. But I remember when it came out, it was like jumping from one shiny object to the next. And it's, if you're brand new, like, figure out where you want to be. And if you find like, okay, this isn't actually compatible with my learning style, I don't really want to watch this educator, then make the switch. But don't be that person that's, ooh, swipe coin, ooh, Gold Cup, ooh, HFX, whatever. Stick with one thing. I think that's Tony's main point, just kind of recapping. Find something that works best for you and dial down. Just stick with it. I use a harmonic scanner every time I trade. Like, that thing is so consistent, and you just got to figure out what works best for you. So cool, bro. I appreciate that. I got a couple other questions for you. Maybe go a little deep on these, and let people know, like, because I get questions a lot about this. Because you've been in for 3 years, right? I've been, 3.5 years. Like, we've been in for some time. Some of the, you've definitely experienced different hardships, different challenges, moving forward. But what's been probably one of the biggest mental or emotional challenge or block that you've had to overcome, or maybe you're experiencing right now?
What? Okay, I would say it's like maybe like two or three, but I would say the main one would be having, like, not having such an emotional connection when you deposit money into a broker, you put money into your trading account, and then, like, it really comes down to, like, like, this is how I see it. As soon as I put money into my brokers, I just say, okay, that money's gone, and I'm gonna either make money with it or I'm gonna lose money with it. But most of the time, I go with that mentality. I'm gonna compound this money, right? But before, when like early years, and this is just me being completely transparent with you guys, I've I've possibly blown more accounts that I can count on my hands, and that's just being transparent with you guys. You know, at first I wanted to trust the process, but I wasn't willing to have that patience, and that was the big thing right there. Because it's, you know, we work hard for our money. You know, it's like we go to work, and then, you know, we work for X amount of hours, we get paid. And it was like at first, exactly, Josh, patience, because, you know, we work hard for our money, but it's as soon as you put it into the broker account, you start over leveraging, you're like, yes, and then you're like, no. You know, it gets overwhelming at times, and gets very stressful, and that was a big part where, you know, you get discouraged too. You know, that was the biggest thing, being like discouraged when it comes to trading and being afraid. And it was one of those things, the day that I really was just like, all right, you know what, Tony, you got to be patient, you got to trust the process, but more importantly, like, you know, you have to have like these rules for yourself. And that was the biggest thing, I would say. um, just having rules and realizing that, hey, you know, if you're willing to put this much money and risk this much money, just realize if it doesn't go your way, at least you just didn't donate to the markets, is what we like to say. You know, you make a donation to the markets whenever whenever something doesn't go right. And uh it really comes down to, oh my goodness, what was the question again? Like what?
Biggest mental or emotional challenge that you've had to overcome?
Oh, okay. So it really came down to just believing in myself, I would say. It sounds kind of cliche, you know, but it's like my biggest problems is before as well, like was very emotional, was being in a bad mental state of mind and trying to go and put some trades in, because I stopped trading when I'm not mentally stable, because at that point you're letting your emotions kind of control the emotions of, you know, of the way the markets are going. So even one of the biggest things was revenge trading. So let's just say if I lost a trade, I'd try to go back in the same trade and make that money back. But, you know, some of us know that when you try to go in there with that mindset of like, oh, I'm gonna make that money back, you know, whatever that money was, you end up losing more. Or sometimes, you know, like in my cases, I would blow accounts, and I was just like, oh, like, why is this happening? You know, but at the same time, it's not like I said, oh, you know, trading doesn't work, this doesn't work. It obviously worked, but for me, I just wasn't mentally prepared. I wasn't, you know, I wasn't really training myself to be like, you know what, like, you have to be patient when it comes to this. You know, if the harmonic scanner says there's gonna be an entry up here for a sell, don't enter down here and let it consolidate. You know, that was like the biggest thing too. I would enter at the wrong times. So when the market was consolidating, obviously, you know, all of us that do trade know that you don't enter during consolidation, because it's just an emotional roller coaster going up and down. And then finally, when the market goes the way you don't want it to, you know, you're even more upset. So it really just came down to me realizing that, hey, look, you know, just like with not just trading but with life, you know, when you're positive, you attract a different type of frequency, which is positivity. But at the same time, you can't be having negative thoughts and trying to think positively, because that's impossible. Like Bob Proctor says, you can't have good thoughts while having negative energy as well. It's just impossible. So I realized, okay, you know what, if you don't make this much, or if you don't increase your account and you lose, I was like, just step away. Like, the biggest thing is just to step away, you know, and really just go clear your mind. I would say if you end up not having a good trading day, just realize, hey, you still have money for tomorrow or the next 2 days or whatever, you know, your trading days are, to go back and test, you know, your strategies, test what you're, you know, what you're looking at. And more than anything, just have more confirmations, I would say, like, just overall.
Cool, bro. Cool. I think the biggest thing with this whole call is recognizing that wherever you're at in your journey, whether you just got started, okay, or you're 6 months, you know, in, 12 months in, 24 months in, 3 years in, whatever it may be, you still have the ability to continue to grow as a person, as well as, you know, mastering the art of trading. We're obviously a part of this platform because we're not just dabbling in this skill set. We're taking it seriously because we know that if we take it seriously, it has the ability to pay us seriously. And being able to hear from Tony and, you know, other featured traders that we're going to have on here is just like almost like a confirmation of I'm in the right place. You know, it's okay wherever I'm at in my journey, I can come back in and reset myself, you know, start from square one or whatever it is. And Tony, I appreciate you for sharing that because we all, I think, have experienced, you know, doubt in our, with, you know, within ourselves when it comes to trading, or, you know, wanting to revenge trade or get greedy, or, you know, we've blown accounts here and there. Not necessary, but it happens because, you know, if we're trying to, you know, we have more money in our account, we have to grow as a person first. Can't just have $10,000. Can't just have, you know, a certain amount of money. We have to grow as a person, be able to actually have that responsibility, because most people don't see it that way. So okay, cool, bro. I've got like one more question to kind of go with you. I'm trying to decide which one I want to do first, or do. Because you've been in for such a long time, I want to ask. Okay, yeah, let's go this direction. Okay, maybe we can piggyback off of this question, but because you've been in for so long, I get this question quite often because I've been in for such a long time, and that question is, well, Abby, you know, you've been in for 3.5 years, like, why do you need to be a part of a platform, you know, learning this skill set for that long? You know, haven't you learned how to trade already? Can't you, you know, go out and be independent on your own? Like, what is your takeaway with that? Because we're a part of this platform for a reason, but, you know, why are you still here? Why are you still a part of this platform 3 years in?
That is honestly such a good question because I get that quite a bit too. Actually, I get that a lot more than, you know, other questions. And it's like, Tony, if you know how to trade so well, or if you know, if you've been part of this, why are you still a part? Why do you still pay for education? And I tell them it's because more like I would say number one, it's the community. Obviously, we're being part of this organization, but being a part of you guys really makes me feel like this is a second family. More importantly, it's obviously the community base. And don't get me wrong, there's so many other groups of people in such a big community, but it really comes down to surrounding yourself with like-minded people, people who want to win, people who want more to life than just waking up, going to sleep, eating, and going out and just doing the same thing over and over. But I would say it's just the amazing relationships I've made over the last 3 years. We've met some good people, we've met some bad people. And then at the end of the day, it's like those people are there no matter what. Those doesn't matter where you go, if you're either part of this platform, a different platform, even at your job, there's good apples and bad apples. And I feel like with this, it gives me the freedom to work with who I want as well. I have good friends on here too that if it wasn't really for trading, I know some of these people personally, but if it wasn't for trading, it's like, who knows if any of us would really met. And for me, it's the fact that I'm still learning, because a lot of people will see this, for like a year, take this, take all these courses and everything for like about a year, and then they go, okay, I know everything, and then they leave, and then they try to do something, but then they always come back. I've seen that multiple times. People get this ego that they're like, hey, I know everything. But if you guys know who Kevin Trudeau says, it's the teachability index, where it's like, if you're coachable and teachable at a 10, then you're always a student, you're always growing. You just don't say, I know it all, or hey, I get it. Because I've learned in the last year that I've been listening to these audios, it pretty much says, you know, as soon as you tell yourself that, hey, I know it, or hey, I get it, you stop growing. So even though I understand when people are going over, harmonic scanner and other tools and strategies, I always keep an open mind, because with trading, yes, there's so many things to learn about it, but it's your specific strategy, your certain tools that you use, you can always keep learning more from it. and it comes to a point where it's like you want to be able to practice, you want to be able to like, apply it and then teach it to other people, because at the end of the day we're here to really, help others grow. And yeah, certain people know different things, but that's why I feel the community based aspect of this is really like, we can all mastermind from each other. We can all, help each other grow in any areas of life, because, Abby, you've gone through things that I've never personally gone through, and like vice versa. And from there, we're able to share that experience with people. So it's like, look, I know exactly what you're going through. Let me just tell you my my experience doing that and the results I got. And then after that, it really comes down to if you want to do it and learn from your own mistakes or not. And honestly, it's just when I saw this platform, I really envisioned this. I would say like maybe like 7 years ago when I first started like network marketing. I always had this vision that I want to help the people that I went to school with. I wanted to impact my community and make it one of the wealthiest communities of young adults, because like, I was I think I was like 19, 20 years old, you know like I was kind of dumb, but had a dream that, hey, I can make this happen one day. And I went through other ventures, I did other things, and I realized, I can't do that dream with this. And then 3 years ago, this fell into my lap, and I was just like, something kind of lit up under me, and I was like, all right, you know what? I think this is it right here. And just I just kept growing. I love it. Like it's so it, it's so weird when people ask me, they're like, hey, are you still doing that trading thing? And I'm like, yeah. Are you still doing that 9 to 5 thing, man? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, there you go, man. I'm like, it's something you just never stop doing. It's something you never stop growing. You always grow, or you stay content. And for me, it was like, I don't like going to school, but I like go live. I don't like reading textbooks, but I like the academy. There's so much that I love about this. Like, not, I wouldn't even say company. I would say family, because our goal is just not to make people work. Our goal is to really empower people and and enrich them and educate them on, look, this is where you're at, but this is what you could have if you're willing to learn a skill. And for me, it's just like, if it really wasn't this, I had nothing else. That was the biggest thing. I was just like, what else are you to do, Tony? You obviously don't like where you're at. Why not just join this? Why not actually learn a skill? Why not learn how to make money off your phone is the biggest thing. We're all on our phones all the time. And it's really, it's I personally, I wouldn't change this for the world. I planted my flag here 3 years ago, and even when the times were hard, I never looked at any other opportunities to be like, get up and leave, because I I realize there's a lot of people who will start something and then quit something, start another thing and then quit, start and quit, start and quit, start and quit, and then it's like you're never consistent. You never take enough time just to really go through the process. A lot of people would rather quit when times get hard. A lot of people would rather, you know, get up and do something else because it looks better, because it's shinier, like Abby was saying, with the strategies, where it's like, oh, just because people are winning here doesn't mean that you should just go over there, because you're not growing. You're literally spreading yourself thin, and you don't have the ability, or you don't really get the experience on growing and just developing yourself as well. And honestly, like I said, I'm just gonna be here until the end. Like I just really love this company more than anything, and I honestly wouldn't change it for the world. I've met some of the best people that that are pretty much family now, and a lot of you guys are on this call too. And honestly, I just wouldn't change it for the world.
Dope, dude. Dope. I appreciate you, bro, for coming on here. Just to touch on that, because I liked a lot of the things that you said. I mean, the family, the culture, and everything, because in how you said, just always remaining a student. I heard myself a lot of the times, and I still catch myself, when you're learning something, and as you're learning something, you're like, yeah, I got it. And Kevin Trudeau always says, like, no, you don't get something. You're always getting it. You're
Yep.
always getting it. And every time you go back, like I'm rewatching all the Academy videos right now. I'm like going through them. And I was going through some of them. And I'm like, oh my God, like, I forgot about that, or I didn't look at it like that, or I'm a new person, so I have a different perspective. And just always remaining a student because you don't know what you don't know. And I think also the fact, like, we're technically in like a recession right now, like some crazy pandemic thing, and there's a lot of new things that I've never experienced before. And being able to tune into go live sessions with people like Zach and Jordan, people like Mike Miles, whoever it may be, or even on the crypto sessions where, we've never experienced Bitcoin like this, or we've never seen US oil drop to a penny like that before. So many different things. And we have the ability to tap into that and learn, like, oh wow, this is going on, I want to stay aware with this. So I think it's just like, as we are growing, so are the educators, so is everything around us is going on, and we can tap into that and continue to get educated in different areas. Plus, if you catch the vision, you can have you have the ability to make an impact. So I think that's the big thing while we're still here too, is there's just so many more people out there that need to get financially educated, and we all about that freedom, baby. So Tony, I appreciate you, bro, for coming on here and really just sharing and pouring into all of us. And this is going to be up, and the recording's going to go up on my YouTube. So for anybody that wants to go back and rewatch it, or for future reference to share, this will be here. But guys, I'm going to go ahead and end this thing. I am so appreciative of all of you guys, and I'm really excited to continue to see these calls grow, because I know the kind of impact that it can have on anybody throughout their journey. The last thing I'll say is, for those of you that do not have your membership for free, but want to take advantage of doing that, one great way is plug these guys into, these calls. We have Monday through Friday Zoom overviews. It's the same link every single time. We post it in the I Am Family chat. Feel free to add people on there, get the information so they can make a clear decision. And then the last thing, guys, if you want to be a featured trader on these calls, just send me a message. We can lock you in on one of the schedules coming up. But other than that, y'all, I appreciate you. Have a great and blessed Sunday. Oh yeah, go for it, bro.
Can I say one last thing?
Oh, go for it. Yeah, yeah.
So I would say, to leave you guys with one last thing. What really took me 3 months to do should have taken me a lot sooner. Like, start like 3 years ago. It's like, for me, it took me this long because I wasn't the leader I was supposed to be at the time, and just in the last 2.5 years, just with everything, obviously Abby knows a lot of the crazy shenanigans that ever happened before, just with just bad energy and everything. In the last 3 months, I had to really ask myself, like, Tony, are you afraid to fail? Like, to really do this, or are like, it's really, I had the fear of really being successful and having the responsibility to look over people and like watch and guide people. I would say, for anyone really going through whatever, hardships, you really have to ask yourself, would you sign up to yourself? Would you sign up under you? Are you the person you want to be? And if those questions are no, then you really have to be honest with you and ask yourself, okay, how do I have to grow? What do I have to do to become the leader I want to be? And, in the last 3 months, really being clear with what I wanted and knowing that there's going to be responsibility with P600 and P1000 and everything. That's where I really had to make it clear and mentally prepare myself to be like, all right, Tony, there's about to be a big, big, some big responsibility coming your way. So whatever happens, just know that you have to keep moving forward and always be there for people before yourself. And that's pretty much what it is, you guys. Just realize, you have a responsibility, as a trader, to really make your why happen. You, as a leader, you have a responsibility to feed, not feed, but pour value into people. And if you're not pouring value into the right people, and you're pouring that value to people that don't need that, like toxic dream stealers is what I call them, then you're pouring into the wrong people. Because the people that really need this, will make sure they take action with this. And more than anything, you have to have posture when it comes to talking to people. And that's pretty much it, you guys. Just be confident in yourself and just really just know what you really want. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
Oh
Sorry.
yeah, bro. No, I appreciate that. I forgot to ask you for closing thoughts, but I'm glad you said that. That's such a great point. Like, would you join you? Really, really take inventory of that. But Tony, new, by the way, guys, new Platinum 600, Tony freaking Pena, P1000 loading, guys. I am so excited to see everybody continue to grow. Very, very, very proud of you, bro. Till next time, guys. This coming week, we got Zoom overviews Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific. Plug in your guests. If you want an intro on those calls, send me a text. And if you want to be a featured trader guest on these calls, let me know, and we'll lock you guys into the schedule. Other than that, y'all, have a blessed Sunday, and let's crush our week. Peace.